Right, a combination of bad light and heavy rain means that it was just only 35 overs, sadly enough, in the second test in Kanpur. My name is Avanish, and as you can see, an all-new panelist to discuss the second test, which has pretty much not been any action on day one. Why wake up at 6 in the morning in some part of Europe to absolutely watch this kind of shit show anyway? So let's start. Sorry, just 35 overs. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, can't help it. The stop-start prediction was the reason I think why Rohit opted to bowl first as well, because no batter would want to come in, come out. You know what I mean? So many times in a given day. So yeah, but I think, I mean, predictions. I mean, this match has really been right. It has been a long. It feels like a long window between the first and the second test for some reason. And then there have been news like कि stand ready नहीं है, बंदर आ जाएंगे, rain है. So it just seems like a weird test. But yeah, I was happy with the 11 that India played. So yeah, let's see. A lot to see in this test match.
Yeah, Nikhil, where do you stand on that? Same 11 India played from Chennai, and we were expecting maybe one change or two. Yash Dayal has played his cricket in UP, so did Kuldeep Yadav. Were you surprised that they missed out?
Yeah, to be honest, I was slightly shocked that they did not go for Kuldeep. Maybe they saw, of course, they read the conditions differently because they played three spinners on this deck, three pacers on this deck, sorry, and there's already low bounce that you can see. I mean, the first ball itself, you saw low bounce. So, slightly surprised, but maybe they just want to be in that zone that they're giving people enough time because something that we've discussed in the previous game as well, how in the all 35 hours, Jadeja did not bowl a single ball. Majority of it was done by the Pacers. So maybe they want to give them enough time in the middle, and maybe that's the aim.
Yeah, I mean, if it actually be broken down, I mean, India bowling first. I mean, that's the first time since 2015 that they won the toss in a home test and decided to bowl. Shocked about that, or do you think again weather conditions? So,
well, like I said, I mean, it has a lot to do with what was supposed to unfold on day one. And I think Rohit mentioned something very interesting in the toss. He said that they're trying to find ways to win because see, winning in India, there has been a template. I mean, when was I don't even recall when India played three paces back to back in a test as well. I mean, there has been a template of going with three spinners and two pacers, but they played three paces in the last game and three paces here as well because the eyes are set on Australia. And if you think about it, India have Bumrah as the lone spinner who's a certain bankable pacer as of now. I mean, of course, you will pounce on me and say Siraj bhi hai, but of late we've seen that Siraj ko utna confidence nahi hota. Today also, when he was got hit for 2-4, he was immediately taken out of the attack. So Shami is injured. He's not played a test in a while, so we don't know how he's gonna make a comeback. Of course, I mean, if he's fit, we can be certain that he'll be there and thereabouts as soon as he starts after probably one practice game. But overall, if you want to win the test series in Australia, you need at least 5 paces, and these are the games where you would want to test those paces out. So this is why I feel that it's a home test, a home series. You're expected to win this even with two spinners. So that is the reason I'm happy that India have persisted with three paces, because come the BGT, it's the pacers who are going to dictate whether you're going to win that series or not.
Yeah, I agree with you because that was actually a thing that I actually asked fans even when I was doing fan cams in Chennai, who your 5 paces are taking to BGT. I don't know why this is going off my phone, but basically, point is I was following cricket.com there as well. Let me just quickly get Nikhil's thoughts about those 5 bowlers and who will you take to the Australian trip. And this, of course, is a dress rehearsal. Even though Rohit Sharma doesn't like using that term, we have 3 more tests against New Zealand to finalize that squad. But here's a match summary of the second test, day 1. Just 35 overs, like I said. Heavy rain in Kanpur means that we just saw this much. 40 phenomenal. Finally getting into the thick of things this series. Shanto looking brilliant as well. I mean, he had one shot against Ashwin, the reverse sweep. Eventually, he perished. But Ash getting 1, Akash getting 2, and even Shadman is 24-36. Top performer today was Akash. Again, bowling immaculately well to The left-handers in particular, this series he has troubled them more than getting opportunities to bowl at right-handers. Next, is he one pacer that you'll take to the BGT? Shiraj, Bumrah, Shami, Akashdeep, and then the fifth spot could be Dayal, Harshit Rana, Arshdeep, whoever. Do you think now Akashdeep has cemented his spot in that BGT squad?
Yeah, I mean, it could be early days, but I won't be surprised if he starts also ahead of Siraj. To be very honest with you, because I think over this entire year, you've seen him come really good in terms of when you need him to. I'm sure people read the cricket.com stat about him having the best average against left-handed batters, and in numerous formats we've discussed how much India have hated bowling to left-handed batters. So finally, maybe we had the answer to Travis head, but that for later. I think Akashdeep in that way gives you a lot of options, and if he can continue to take so many wickets in his first spell itself, I think Siraj will feel the pressure. So for me, Shami fit, of course. Then you pick Bumrah, Shami, no doubt there. But then my third pacer, I would still be possibly tempted to, take a punt with Akashdeep, because I think Siraj, I feel him. He's very similar to Broad in terms of he has his days, he has his spells. Now, Broad had a second wing in his life once he started to go a bit more full and just got his lines even more better in terms of, yes, Siraj always hits the stumps, but I just feel that that change has to be made by Siraj to start getting a lot more wicket, because he can beat the bat, but wickets have to start coming for him is what I feel, given how well Akashdeep is doing at this point of time.
Yeah, Akashdeep has been a revelation. We saw that he got his debut in that England series earlier this year, and he's kind of gone from strength to strength. So much so that he's given Bangladesh's opener an unwanted record. And I'm talking about Zakir Hassan, who now has the slowest duck for an opener against India in Tests. You heard it here first in cricket.com. 24 balls that Zakir Hassan lasted before he perished for not troubling the scorers. The previous record was held by Sean Marsh, who, of course, had this landmark in the 2017 Pune Test. So a little bit of unwanted history going Bangladesh's way there.
No one wants to remember the 2017 Pune Test.
Exactly. That's what I'm also getting to. Okay, we don't want to remember that. And also, the thing that you heard on comms as well, where Tamim Iqbal spoke that most of the Bangladesh batters felt that Akashdeep was the toughest to face. I mean, this was the first test was a game where Bumrah also played and he took wickets. Yet they found Akashdeep difficult to contend with. So, very good start for him. Now to only build from here.
And that's the thing, right? So someone like him who's a newbie, how much do you kind of give him game time? Or would you kind of pull him out of the New Zealand series, probably throw in someone like Harshit Rana there, Yash Dayal, just to assess your options before the BGT? How would you kind of go about Akashdeep in the coming test, and would you have him in the playing 11?
See, of course, I mean, I think that there is a decent enough break between the after the second test and the first test with New Zealand. We are going to play the white ball series. I'm assuming Akashdeep won't be part of that series, so there he'll have his break. But come the New Zealand series, I presume that he'll play at least the first test and then maybe the third. But in that series, I would love India to actually try Shami, and if Shami is fit, of course, and then give Yash Dayal a go, because you need all your 5 bowlers to be ready. Because 5 tests in Australia, we've seen what happened in the past. We've not even needed 5 pacers. We needed 6, 7, and 8 as well. So at least you need to have those all of them ready with proper game time, because it's not going to be very easy to just go out and make your debut in Australia. So that's going to be key. But regarding Akashdeep, see, what's the most impressive bit about him is how often he makes the batters play. You know, it's always there and thereabouts with his line and as well as the length. I think we did a piece on Akashdeep during the first test that he's hitting the good length area. At least every 3 out of his 4 balls are hitting the good length area. And it's going to be tough for everyone. If you look at Mominul today, I mean, he actually batted really well, wherein whenever the ball was in a good length, he was happy to not try anything rash. But as soon as any of them pitched full, even Bumrah, he played a very solid cover drive. And whenever it was short, he actually reacted well and played it behind the slip cordon. So that there was a case in point that if you stick to the good length often enough, the batter would be sort of subdued, and he'll give you opportunities at some point of time in the day.
Just a quick one from me to you before I go to Nick's. Who is your left arm pacer right now in terms of the BGT selection? Will it be just automatically Yash Dayal, because Arshdeep, even though he got that 6 from Duleep, is not in the scheme of things? And do you need a left armer, even though we have really good 4 deadly right arm pacers?
You need 5 bowlers. Basically, you need 5 pacers. If you don't necessarily have to, you don't have to force with a left armer. But agar left armer hai, to then better to have a left armer. I always feel that even when it comes to batters, I mean, although Bangladesh are skewing too much towards lefties, that everyone in the top 4-5 is a lefty. At least 5 of the top 6 are lefty if we take Rahim out. So yeah, from that regard, I would prefer someone to be a left armer because there is no right armer who's clearly knocking at the door. I mean, India tried Prasidh Krishna in South Africa with not much success. So I'm assuming that he is sort of dropped down the pecking order. Like you said, Arshdeep has not played a game. Harshit Rana has not played a game. But Arshdeep has played white ball cricket a lot. So probably, I don't know the reason why Yash Dayal is being pushed ahead of Arshdeep. Maybe they have seen something with him in the red ball. But apart from that, you don't really see any pacer who's ready. You could say that he deserves a go ahead of someone like Yash Dayal. So why not him? If he's a part of the scheme, in the scheme of things, already the squad, then might as well hand him in the debut and at least have him play 2 tests against New Zealand and see where he stands.
Food for thought that. Next, I just want to come to you right now because the whole talk will be about pacers down under. But in this series, the next one, and potentially even the BGT, how do you keep someone like Ashana out of the game? Because he's time and time and again evolving. I'm thinking to myself, even this test, he could turn out to be, I don't know, another match performing spell, another fifer, the 38th or whatever. So a word on Ashwin and looking ahead to this series first, and how do you think he will get into the selector's mind and be like, listen, I'm starting regardless of the pitches down under?
It's a problem that you ideally don't want to have, but it's a better problem to have because you have Jadeja who is invaluable away from home. And that is where I think Jadeja pips Ashwin in terms of always starting because you know what you get with Jadeja and there are enough numbers to prove it. We don't even have to put a filter on it now, that last 2 years and last 3-4 years. So I think that is where the challenge lies for Ashwin, that you are not going to be able to play Ashwin if you know the pitches are not going to help spinners at all. What you're going to probably see is both teams, and the games are also at venues where they don't aid spin much. So it'll be very hard to fit Ashwin in the first 3 tests of the BGT, at least from what we can assume at this point of time will be the type of pitches at those venues. So, which is where the Pacers, every conversation, everything at this point of time is surrounding the Pacers. Let's get the Pacers into rhythm. Let's keep them fresh. How do you rotate them? That is something that I think might be a question. And if at all one of these Pacers drop off, say whether it is Siraj or whether it is just there or even Akashdeep for that matter, then maybe the call might be how we discussed in the WTC that could Ashwin give you more control? If so, yes, maybe then you can get Ashwin into the conversation because see at home I don't think it's even a question, but away from home the question arises because you have a Ravindra Jadeja who's so good with the bat that you cannot afford to not play him. So I think the conversation there is between who is your 4th pacer and do you think Ashwin can do better than that 4th pacer in that regard.
Okay, let us know what you guys think in the comments. And I'm just going to keep this review short because, like I said, 35 overs today, so nothing to talk about. Rahim Khan, there's plenty of news which has gone on today, including this. You go check it out on cricket.com. Check out our website, our app. It's a good reason to do so. And how good is Mendes? Unfortunately, we won't be talking about Sri Lanka, New Zealand, but sensational. So much so that he's literally in that Don Bradman club. 13 innings, 1,000 runs. Fantastic. New Zealand in whole heaps of trouble there, 22 for 2, chasing 602 in their first innings. Right. So, just to wrap up with you then, forecasting this test, will it be again a 4-day win for India with all the weather going around? India, you expect them to get the job done?
Yeah, but I just have a feeling that this test is going to be a little challenging, at least more challenging than the first one, because Bangladesh have played the team which seemed like more suited to the conditions. They've added an extra spinner, a slow left arm spinner at that. So I'm expecting Bangladesh to put up a fight because India have made things tough for them willingly. So I mean, might as well then they are tested properly, and then this goes to a day 5 and we see some really quality close test match.
Yeah, Nikhil, India won the first test by 280 runs. We wanted a few things to be ticked off in this one, including Virat and Rohit scoring runs. Do you think that's the biggest focus with the bat in hand? Because Gill, Pant, KL, they all looked all right in Chepauk.
Yeah, and the good thing is the conditions are also such that it will test them. So I think in that aspect, it's as good as you can get in terms of preparation. And again, we're not preparing for anything in particular, but just getting into test match rhythm. So very, very optimistic about them doing well in terms of Virat getting a good score. But personally, I still feel there is a lot of room with Jadeja. I think that even in our group, that I for some reason continue to feel that Jadeja isn't being used as much as I would like him to be used, because even he's going to be important even if you're thinking from the BGT lens. He has to be in the rhythm on very good decks and good batting conditions for you to get uh, him to get into that rhythm. So let's see, we'll see that tomorrow, and can't wait for the Indian batters to be tested again.
Okay, and just because you love predicting cricket 24/7, Nick, so what is Bangladesh's first innings score going to look like? Can you give us a prediction?
Yeah, just to keep Soam's optimism high, I want them to cross hopefully 250 350 के बीच में कहीं हो. So then that could it'll ensure we have a good test which will last more than 4 days.
So you echo those thoughts, especially with Shakib almost ending his career now or thereabouts.
Yeah, I mean, but the important thing is recent Bangladesh success has not been on the shoulders of Shakib anyway. So that is a good thing looking at a future perspective. But yeah, I mean, I completely echo with Nikhil. Anything, at least they need at least 250 to ensure that they are there in the game.
Let's see how much Bangladesh gets, guys, girls, and of course, tell us in the comments how much you guys thought that this day was just a bloody futile exercise because the weather didn't help in the leather city of Kanpur. Let's see if we can get more cricket on day 2. We'll, of course, bring you the review similar time, similar place tomorrow. Until the next time, it's a goodbye from Som, Nikhil, and me. Go check out cricket.com's app and website for some amazing numbers to come out of the 35 overs, even though it was a short day. Cheers, we'll see you soon.